What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight we are going to go over Monday Night Raw for September the 26th, 2022. What a show this was. Probably, in my opinion, the best Monday Night Raw of the Triple H era. We had two huge returns. We had more White Rabbit teases. We have the debuting tag team of the Panda Express, which is Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano. We had Io Sky versus Bianca Belair in a non-title match to build towards the pay-per-view that's coming up for Bayley's and Bianca. We have matches added to Extreme Rules. We have a ladder match and an I Quit match added to Extreme Rules. Candice LeRae is back. Edge is back. What a show this was. We got some news going on about this whole White Rabbit stuff. We're going to go into that first, but if you guys like what you are hearing every week, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, comment down below. If you want to hit the bell notification anytime any of my videos go up live, you can do that as well. Follow me on the Twitter at MisfitWrestleTV. I'm still working on a Instagram. Maybe I'll get one out. Who knows? Probably not at this point. Who knows at this point? You can follow the Facebook page, Misfit Wrestling Podcast. The links to all those are going to be down in the description. Well, yeah, in the description box down below, and all that stuff. So before we get into the goods, the meat and potatoes, which is Monday Night Raw, let's talk about the White Rabbit stuff. So since SmackDown 2 weeks ago, we've seen this White Rabbit song play at the arenas with the lights off. Originally, we didn't know if it was going to lead to anything. It is leading to something. Then on Raw last week, we saw the first thing of the QR codes, which was the game Hangman, which had the question, who killed the world? The answer being you did. And then on SmackDown, we had another QR code, which is a game, which is a maze of some sort, like Pac-Man-esque, which is what's the word I'm looking for? So you were playing the bunny, you were trying to get through the maze to get through the door. Now, in the door was coordinates that said patricide, which is the meaning of killing of one's father, which we talked about on SmackDown. That is a reference. It could be, but it probably is. It's most likely a reference to one of Bray Wyatt's older promos in FCW, where he talked about basically admitting to killing his father in a by setting the boat on fire, his dad's boat on fire. That's one thing we're talking about here. We also have we also did the whole stuff on the house shows again. Then tonight we had the next thing of the QR codes. Originally it was leaked. I'm assuming this was changed because it was leaked before. Cultaholic came out with the report of the tic-tac-toe thing, which apparently was a leak, and I'm assuming WWE got so mad about it that they changed it, and somebody probably got in trouble for it because it came out. Well, it was a TikTok video, and this time it was a TikTok video with a mashup of people saying the question, or doing the question, who killed the world, with the "you did" part. And there's an interesting voice in there. I don't know if it's like what's the Black Scorpion thing from WCW, where it was Ole Anderson's voice doing it, or it was something else. I mean, when I played around with it, it sounded like Bray Wyatt. I'm not gonna play it here, obviously, copyright reasons. But that's what it sounded like to me. I don't know. But at the end of it, we had the little thing. It looks like a zip code called 40701. We put the zip code into the computer, with the Google, whatever it be, and it takes you to Corbin, Kentucky. Now you'd be asking, well, what's happening in Corbin, Kentucky? Well, WWE used to run shows there. They don't really run shows there often. Two notable things happened in Kentucky when it comes to Bray Wyatt. The Fiend defended the Universal Championship against The Miz on January of 2020. That was noted by Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful. And then underneath that, he made a point that the last person Bray Wyatt fought before turning into the Fiend character was Baron Corbin. So that's an interesting thing there. And then underneath that, in the video, there was a coordinates that I didn't even notice or recognize when I watched this the first time. I didn't find out about it until later. I'm not going to read the coordinates, but it takes you to Italy, to this giant pink rabbit thing on a mountain. Very disturbing. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you can see it if you look up the coordinates. If you guys watch Raw, you've seen the coordinates. There's that. There's also speaking of the rabbits, when it comes to the Corbin in Kentucky, there's a record shop called White Rabbit Records. And if you go to YouTube and type in White Rabbit Records, there's a video, and you go here, a video with a YouTube channel with 16,000 subscribers. The amount of videos, it says it has like over 20 something videos, over 19 million views, and there's 2 videos up. All right. So now, it's funny enough, this one video is Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit. And then there's the second video that was uploaded during Raw with the title 24062. Now you put that into the thing here, right? And it takes you to a place in Maine called Wyndham. Boy, this has to be for Bray Wyatt. This cannot be anything else but Bray Wyatt. Another thing mentioned, Sean Ross Sapp pointed this out, which I didn't know at first. There is the URL for this website. The QR code is actually very interesting. The URL address is 930YWG. 930, it stands for September 30th, which is SmackDown. YWG stands for Winnipeg Airport. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm excited to see where this goes. We're probably going to get another QR code here on SmackDown. They're starting to light up the whole ring now with the entire arena with the red lights. This is interesting. Another interesting bit happened during the show. They're starting to throw out these crows in the background, which are intentional. And we saw one today during a backstage segment with Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Candice LeRae, and Damage Control. They're doing their thing, and then you can see in the background there's a crow with looks like a lantern, just sitting back there. And then there's another thing that somebody else pointed out. It's very interesting. Apparently, somebody walks by with a white-looking mask on his face. Like, I don't know if it's like a buzzard type mask or something, but you can see it go behind Bayley's head. It's very interesting. I'm excited to see where this is going. My guess is, like I said, is Bray Wyatt. I'm thinking we're gonna get Bray Wyatt's return at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Because it just makes sense. it just makes sense to have Bray Wyatt appear at the pay-per-view, because then the very next, well, it's not really the next night, but it's the Raw after. It's it's the Raw after the Extreme Rules. They're doing a season premiere, and what better way to have a season premiere if you're going to build up like the way they are with the reunion of DX minus Billy Gunn, and you have the Bloodlines are going to be there. They're advertising Roman Reigns and the entire Bloodline. What better way to reintroduce the Fiend on that episode of Raw, or Bray Wyatt, whatever character this is going to be. So this is interesting. I'm excited to see where it's going. Um, so yeah, that's all I have now for the Fiend Bray Wyatt stuff. I keep calling him the Fiend because that's who I remember him as. When it was last year. Give me a sip of water here. But that's not all we got here. We got Monday Night Raw to talk about because this was a very good Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was stacked to the core. It felt like a random. It didn't feel like a random episode of Raw. It felt like a takeover show that Triple H was putting together with all these great matches on here, and we're gonna talk about it right now. One more thing before I go into the Raw. There was also a source code in there for the White Rabbit stuff that said no man is truly evil, no man is truly ever good, or whatever it was. Reference to the first set of lyrics in Aleister Black's theme song, but I don't think that means anything. I think it's just a red herring, as a lot of people have pointed out. We can confirm that the White Rabbit is not Edge, but we'll get to that Edge in a little bit. Let's open the show here. We opened the show. We opened the show with Bianca Belair, Bayley, not Bianca Belair. We opened the show with Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. Happy birthday to Asuka, by the way, and Damian Priest. It was their birthdays today. Amazing. It is amazing to realize how old Asuka is. She's only 41, but she doesn't look a day 40 over 40. It's very weird, but she's very good. I love it. She's a wholesome content from Asuka. So Bianca Belair comes out, talks a lot of smack about she's been waiting for. She doesn't want to wait until Extreme Rules because Bayley last week challenged her to a match at Extreme Rules. She didn't want to wait for that. She said Bianca says she's learned from her mistakes and knew that Io and Dakota would have interfered anyways. Belair says that Asuka and Bliss will be at ringside for Extreme Rules, so this should be interesting there. Damage Control comes out. Bayley says that the issue is between her and Belair are bigger than the two of them. She says Belair was groomed, handpicked, and trained to be a champion. Somewhat, I agree somewhat to a point. But then again, she didn't get booked a lot when she got up to the main roster. So, and her run in NXT was iffy. So it depends on who you ask on that. Bianca Belair and Bayley go back and forth. Then Bayley, excuse me, challenges Bianca Belair to a ladder match at the pay-per-view. Bianca Belair gladly accepts. But before they get to the Extreme Rules, Bianca wants to beat up Io Shirai. So then we open up with a phenomenal women's match. Io Sky, Bianca Belair had an incredible back and forth match. Because Io Shirai does that a lot. Bianca Belair is no slouch either. Like I said, she's a good athlete. I understand why people like her. I don't care for her character personally. She's a great wrestler. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't care for her character that much. Io Shirai. So the match starts. Bella delivers a dropkick. They go to the break. They come back from a break. This is one of the first instances that we've seen the QR code at ringside, which I didn't even notice it at the commentary table because I couldn't scan the damn thing. Earlier on, Bianca hits a snapmare, delivers a lot of shoulders to Sky's midsection, followed by a backbreaker. Goes for the pin. Sky kicks out. One point in the match, they are going to the outside. I think Io's going to try to do something. Bianca, I believe, does a suicide dive of some sort onto Bayley and Dakota. Io goes up to the top rope, hits a phenomenal moonsault off the top rope to the outside. They go back into the ring. Bayley hits on Bianca and them. Sends Bianca back into the ring. She's gonna go for a patented springboard missile dropkick, which is one of my favorite things about her. She misses, and then it gets hit by the KOD. Bianca Belair pins Io Shirai for the win. Giving her momentum going into Extreme Rules. Fun match. Like, it's a great opening match by these two. Io Shirai never disappoints in the ring when it comes to professional wrestling matches. And I just enjoyed what she did. It was some good stuff. Next up, we had a backstage interview with Rey Mysterio with Mr. Kevin Patrick, the nerd. Asked Rey about how he feels about Dominic. When asked to hit him last week, as Dominic wanted Rey to hit him with the chair. Rey says there was nothing that was holding him. There was nothing like holding a newborn son or child in general, wanting the best for them. But Rey will never fight Dominic. That's a lie, because that's going to happen at some point. He says Rey is manipulating him, but he can't let that sway his focus with Seth Rollins. He says he would show mercy to his blood, but he's not going to show any mercy to Seth Rollins. And so we're going to go to that match, which is they usually end up having good matches. So then we go to another backstage segment with The Miz with security guards, and they're waiting. They're basically, he's trying to get them, encourage them to say, offering a $1 million reward bounty on Dexter Lumis, calling it the Miz Force, and it was very funny how they pulled this off, because I kind of figured that's what they were doing. Edmonton Oilers stuff. So there's that. Seth Rollins comes out for their match between him and Rey Mysterio. Rollins welcomes the fans to Monday Night Rollins before introducing himself. He says that he should be standing in the ring as the new United States champion, but isn't because of Matt Riddle. He says that he has Lashley standing in the ring dead to rights, which is true. He almost had the match won, but Riddle cost him to take the eye off the ball and cost him the match. He talks about Riddle challenging him to a fight pit at Extreme Rules, which I cannot wait to see on the main roster. I want to see how Rollins can handle himself in a fight pit. Then he says that it doesn't matter what type of match it is, because he's won every single one. I think that's true. He says that while he may be it might be his first time in the fight pit, Riddle will be flat on his back, and the world will sing his song, Rollins' song. He addresses the Riddle directly and says that he will give Rey Mysterio the beating he's too much of a coward to give his own son. Rey Mysterio comes out, they start brawling, goes to commercial break. A fun little match here. Not as good as their last few matches they had against each other, but it was all right. But Rollins ends up winning with Thunder Rosa's submission move, which I didn't think I'd see Seth Rollins busting out a submission move to win here. So he wins by submission, Thunder Rosa's move, and that's how Rollins wins there. Except for a fun little match, nothing too exciting happened here. During the match, at one point during the match, Rollins is on the ramp. Excuse me. Rollins is on the ramp with Mysterio. Out comes Dominic, and then once again the QR code flashes quickly. Thankfully, a lot of people were able to catch it at the time to get a screenshot, so I can get the code thing. And basically, Rollins wins because of a distraction from Rhea Ripley and Dominic. So there's that. Then we see Matt Riddle watching in the back. Lashley approaches him and wishes him good luck against Priest. He gives Riddle advice ahead of his fight pit match before telling him not to interrupt him ever again. He tells him that he has Rollins right where he wants him. Basically, Riddle's talking about that. Then we see Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens head to the ring. Gargano kicks one of the. Oh, see, I missed that completely. See, I was wondering why there was a dude on the floor later on when AJ comes. That makes more sense now. Gargano just decides to knock somebody out because it's funny. Well, okay, that makes more sense. We had a Connor Secure promo with Bianca and the Street Profits. After that, we had Alpha Academy coming in the ring with American flags to allow boos. Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens follow out, and this was a fun match. This was a fun tag team match. This is the first time that these two have ever teamed with each other. And this is the whole thing with the Panda Express thing. So at one point, Kevin Owens kicks Otis onto the table, and Otis gets elbow dropped to the table by Kevin Owens. Gargano's getting ready to hit something. I guess the super kick that he does with DIY gets distracted by Austin Theory and a close near fall by Chad Gable, who hits I think a German suplex. No, he did not hit a German. He hit some type of move for a pin. He hit the Chaos Theory. Goes for the pin, but Gargano kicks out. Almost close to winning that match here. Gargano takes Theory out with a kick, followed by the DDT over the top rope, which is the final beat. And Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens will pick up the victory. Those two are a delight to watch together. I watched their WWE.com exclusive video interview. Those two are just a delight to listen to. Those two, I would be okay if they stay a pairing for a couple more weeks because that stuff is entertaining. Next up, we see AJ Styles head to the ring as he passes one of Miz's laid out for security, which is what Johnny Gargano did, which I didn't notice that at first. That is actually hilarious. Finn Balor approaches him and says he's approaching him as a friend. He says Judgment Day already has achieved so much, but the two of them together could change the business once again. Balor offers for Judgment Day to be his backup in his match with Sami Zayn, but Styles declines and walks off. Next up, we had Omos and MVP walking to the ring. Austin Theory. We had a backstage segment with Austin Theory and Alpha Academy. Austin Theory asked what happened. Gable says that Strowman messed up Otis before. Theory says you could have basically talks a lot of shit. Austin Theory's phone rings. When I first heard the voice on the other end, I actually thought it was a voice changer, and I thought it had to do with the White Rabbit stuff or something. Imagine if that was it. No, it wasn't. It was Braun Strowman basically threatening. He was calling Austin Theory so he can tell Chad Gable that he's going to murder him next week on Monday Night Raw. And also next week we also have Otis versus Johnny Gargano. So that's gonna happen next week. Omos destroys two schmucks. That's about it. I don't like spending a lot of time talking about Omos. So there's that. After the match, we head backstage to The Miz, where The Miz finds out his security force has been murdered or put to sleep or something. Don't want to know what's been implied. The Miz turns around, Lumis is disguised as one of the Oilers uniforms, which I thought was something. He's very good at hiding in disguise and learning to stand out. He did it a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, with the whole SWAT team gear, which was fantastic. That was some good stuff. Next up, we get Nikki ASH in the ring getting ready for her match. And then out of the blue, not reported anywhere, very, very fun surprise, the return of the Poison Pixie Candice LeRae. She has returned, gets a very good reaction from I almost said Toronto, from Canada's turf there. Bell Reigns, Candice, and Nikki. I don't know if this is their first match against each other. Probably isn't, given I can look later, but I'm not gonna look during this review. It was a quick match. It was a quick match, but it was still a very good match for what it was. So Nikki does her patented ring skirt trap with the forearms and stuff. Then throws Candice back into the ring. She delivers the snapmare and the thrust kick. Candice delivers the backstabber and sends to the top rope with a swinging neckbreaker for the win. That is one of her older moves that she hasn't done in a while. Candice LeRae wins. Very good to see Candice LeRae back. That is on a stacked women's division. And let me throw you some of the names now that you have on this women's division now. So, with the addition of people like Carmella, the people who are not on television like Carmella and Zelina Vega and Doudrop sort of on television, but she was on the show tonight. You have Dana Brooke who wasn't on the show tonight. Look at this roster now for Monday Night Raw. You have Bianca Belair, the women's champion, soon to be returning Becky Lynch, Bayley, Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. That is a stacked women's division for Monday Night Raw. And you know what? We were talking about it last week when they announced War Games for Survivor Series. We were asking, well, who can be the fourth woman? Who can be the women's babyface team for the War Games? It's right there. They've built it right there. It's going to be Bianca Belair because maybe Asuka, not Bianca. Maybe Becky's not back yet, and it's going to be Bianca, Alexa, Asuka, and Candice versus Bayley, Io, Dakota, and somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. That should be interesting. So yeah, I'm happy to see Candice LeRae back. She looks great. She always looks great. It's nice to see her. So 99.9% of the way is on Monday Night Raw. All they need now is Indy Hartwell. So there's that. Next up, we had a backstage promo with Judgment Day. Priest says he won't hold anything back tonight in his match, and will have no remorse for his former friend, because they were doing stuff back in the day. Gonna leave that open for interpretation. He says Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw and says that he will run his head into the clouds. I'm assuming that's a Wii reference for Matt Riddle. He tells Matt Riddle that he no longer cares. He's no longer a cage fighter. He says he will fall. Next up, we have Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles with Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn's corner. I love what they're doing in Sami Zayn. The whole thing with the Bloodlines is great stuff. Jay still hates Sami Zayn's guts for some reason. But I'm excited when that eventual turn happens, it's going to be so heartbreaking to watch. This was an excellent match. These two always have excellent matches. They have excellent chemistry with each other. Basically, near the end of the match, Styles is going to go for the phenomenal forearm. I can't talk tonight. And was distracted, and the referee was distracted by Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa gets on the ring apron and just beat the ever shit out of him, using basically throwing a Uranagi on the ring apron, tossing AJ back into the ring. AJ gets hit with a hoover kick, and Sami Zayn wins with the help of Solo Sikoa. So the tradition of people not winning in their hometowns continues, because Sami Zayn did not win in his hometown. He may have been in Canada, but he did not win in Montreal a few weeks ago in that incredible Fatal 5-Way match. So there's that. After the match, we had Judgment Day's music hit, and Balor gets on the mic and basically, again, offers AJ to join Judgment Day. He throws up the Bullet Club sign, and AJ looks like he's about to return the favor, and then gives him the fuck you. Balor and the rest of the Judgment Day beat the shit out of AJ Styles. They get a chair to stomp on his neck, and basically they toy with him, and then we go to commercial. Then we come back from commercial. I mentioned this earlier. Candice runs into Bianca, Alex, and Asuka. They're happy to see Candice. Damage Control walks in and says that she's feeling really confident after her win. Bayley says that if she wants a match against Dakota, she'll have to wait next week. So it looks like we're going to get Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai, which sign me up, please. And then Matt Riddle comes to the ring for his match with Damian Priest. Fun little match, nothing too serious here. I've seen better between these two. The match ends with Matt Riddle getting the clean victory, the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the fruit roll up. Matt Riddle wins. Judgment Day wastes no time, is getting in the ring, attacking Matt Riddle, getting ready to beat the shit out of him. And then out comes the returning Edge to save Matt Riddle. He hits Priest and Balor with spears, getting ready to beat up Dominic. Rhea pulls him out of the ring. Edge grabs the microphone and says, Judgment Day has tried to finish him over and over, but he always comes back. He says he doesn't quit before challenging Balor to an I Quit match in Extreme Rules, and it's going to be official. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Edge in an I Quit match, which should be very, 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 very good. This card so far for Extreme Rules looks fantastic. I'm going to run through the quick card right now. The official matches announced for the show are an Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan is defending against Ronda Rousey. We have a fight pit match between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. A ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair and Bayley. A strap match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross, and Edge versus Finn Balor I Quit match. Another rumored match that's probably going to take place is Austin Theory versus Johnny Gargano, and maybe a women's tag team title match between Io Sky and Dakota Kai versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss. That's the idea I have. That's the maybe. Another note I wanted to make quick note on is not Alexa Bliss, but it was post Candice's match. Nikki ASH is in the corner, and she takes off her mask, and she looks depleted and heartbroken and whatever. She's frustrated. I think we're getting close to the return of Twisted Sister Nikki Cross, and I'm so excited for that because that was my favorite gimmick that she had. I did not like this superhero gimmick shit because it was not going anywhere. I don't actually believe that she came up with this gimmick, and if she did, kudos to her for trying, but it just was not working. The crowd didn't care. People loved the crazy Nikki Cross. That was something people really liked and people latched onto. So it looks like we're getting that. That looks great. Next week, the two official matches we do have for next week are Johnny Gargano and Otis, and then Strowman and Chad Gable. And then I'm assuming we're gonna have Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae popping up, and we're gonna have the fourth QR code, depending on how far. Because next week is the go home show for Extreme Rules. I should also point that out there. One of the go home shows for Extreme Rules, the Raw go home show for Extreme Rules. Yeah, so we'll see. But that was a Monday Night Raw. Like I said, one of the best Raws of the Triple H era, probably the best Raw of the Triple H era ever since Triple H took over. I enjoyed this episode thoroughly. I'm enjoying the ride with the White Rabbit stuff. I love what they're doing with the whole Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens bit. The women's division is getting better. They're adding to the Raw women's division. Obviously, we got another fresh face in Candice LeRae. SmackDown needs something. They need the Triple H. You need to bolster that roster up immensely here. Like I said, I'm enjoying the White Rabbit stuff. I cannot wait to see how they're gonna. My thing now is we've got this build up here with the whole White Rabbit stuff. Like, but how is he gonna show up? That's what I know. How is he gonna be presented? That's the one thing I'm actually looking forward to. Like this whole stuff, the other stuff is great. Like the ARGs, or what they're called, alternate reality game. I love the stuff that they're showing us. I'm very curious to see how they're going to present him when he eventually returns. Is White Rabbit by Jefferson's Airplane his new theme? Is he going to come back with Mark Croser's A Living Fear? Is he going to have a updated version of the song that Code Orange did for "Let Me In" as the Fiend? I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for WWE television in a very, very long time. I'm interested. I'm so glad that Triple H is in charge because I've been trying to explain to people for months and months and months, even years. They told me that Triple H in charge is not going to change a thing about this company. And I have been proven right once again because Triple H is making things matter. He's making championships important, like the Intercontinental United States title. They mean something. He's starting to give some type of credence to the women's tag division. The women's division's getting more time and more matches and more. Well, I wouldn't say all right, let me phrase that. They're getting more time, basically, more screen time, which is great to see. There's 2 women's matches on the pay-per-view at Extreme Rules. And there are 2 matches they're gonna. One match I know is going to be very, very good, which is Bianca and Bayley in a ladder match. You throw a ladder match in there, that's gonna be great. I don't know about Alexa, the other one. We'll see on that one. Like the Dexter Lumis stuff. I still don't know what Lumis's issue with the Miz is, but I'm entertained. Like as long as I'm entertained, I don't give a shit where they're gonna go with it. And as long as they keep me entertained, I'm good for that. Edge is back. That match at Extreme Rules between Edge and Balor could be off the chain. I'm excited. But what do you guys think about Raw? I want you to comment down below what you guys think about Monday Night Raw. Did you enjoy this episode of Raw? Did you not enjoy this episode of Raw? Will you be? Are you interested in where this whole White Rabbit thing is going? Names that we can finally rule out that it's not the White Rabbit. Edge, and probably everybody else that's being rumored for it. It's going to be Bray Wyatt. That was Monday Night Raw. I will see you guys back here for AEW Dynamite. Some news going to come out there. Malachi Black did confirm that he's not been released, so that's a good thing. Though he may need to talk to Tony Khan about that 5-year contract thing because he's the one who said it. So I don't really think blaming the dirt sheets on that one because the dirt sheet is the one who said anything about it. But that's neither here or there. He also, Tony Khan, I want to point this out here, did make a tweet earlier today for everyone in AEW, in case you missed our email. Anyone worried about Hurricane Ian, I keep saying Ian, I don't know, Hurricane Ian affecting your travel or home or your family life, it's voluntarily Okay, so basically, you can come in. You can come into TV or not. It's not gonna. She's not gonna hold you any. But he also puts anyone affected by the hurricane can take care of homes. Can take care of business at home, and we'll see you all next week, maybe. There will probably be some changes to SmackDown, or not SmackDown, Dynamite this Wednesday, but we'll see when we get there. Friday, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens there. We get the White Rabbit stuff here. We're gonna White Rabbit stuff here. We got some more builds towards the two big matches on SmackDown for the pay-per-view, Cross and uh, Drew and all that stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast, like I said, please leave a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, bell notifications. Follow me on Twitter at Misfit Wrestle TV, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for Dynamite. Peace out.